Hello, I'm Susan Cadeau. Thank you for being with us. As Oklahoma students start the new school year, they will find larger class sizes than ever before, and many will be taught by first-time teachers who don't have teaching certificates. The teaching shortage in Oklahoma is at critical mass, with a record number of requests for emergency certifications. State educators say by the end of the month, they will have a better understanding of the magnitude of this shortage.
At the Pencil Box in Tulsa, teachers are getting a hand up as they prepare for the new school year. For a nominal $30 fee, the nonprofit provides teachers at low-income schools with all the supplies they need throughout the school year. Caitlin Youngblood received $637 worth of supplies, and she's going to need all of them and more because of the number of students she will be teaching.
The principal said so far probably around 27, 28.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Are you prepared for that?
Hope so. A lot of bodies for a small space.
Youngblood will be teaching math and science to fifth graders. And while she graduated from NSU with a teaching degree, this will be her first year in the classroom. Other newcoming teachers may never have even practiced taught. Dr. Deborah Gist is the superintendent for Tulsa Public Schools.
We are at 137 emergency certified teachers we've hired for this year, and that's more than double what we were, how many emergency certified teachers we'd hired at this time last year.
Tulsa's teacher shortage is right in line with the rest of the state. In June, the State Board of Education approved 224 emergency certifications. In July, another 631 were approved, bringing the total going into this school year so far to 855. But that record number is only expected to balloon. Dr. Robin Miller is Deputy Superintendent of Educator Effectiveness at the Oklahoma State Department of Education.
August actually is usually a larger request, so we would anticipate that this coming month and at the state board meeting will really probably surpass the total number that we had all of last school year.
Out of the 631 people who received emergency certifications to teach last month, 27% had some type of certification.
It may be someone who is already teaching in that district and in a school who holds a standard certificate, but the need is that that individual teach outside of a content area or a grade level.
But the majority of the July emergency certifications, 73%, were given to people outside the teaching profession. For example, someone who has an accounting degree might have been certified to teach math.
But what would be lacking would be assessing students' abilities, understanding learning styles, and best practices for teaching that content.
And addressing those skill sets is problematic when there isn't money to do so.
We also don't have the resources in our school district to provide the kind of intensive professional development for our educators, for all of them, but particularly for those who have less experience and need more support for their instructional skills.
Oklahoma Senator J.J. Dossett understands the education crisis from a first-hand perspective. Before running for office last year, he had been a teacher and a coach at Owasso High School for 10 years.
From my school, from Owasso High School, we've had multiple teachers leave, and it's not because they want to. They'd love to stay and raise their kids in Owasso, but they feel like they're shortchanging their family if they don't go to Bentonville, Arkansas, and make $20,000 more a year.
Dossett has asked for, but is yet to receive the okay to hold an interim study on the exodus of teachers and what needs to change to stop the brain drain. Dossett says his fellow lawmakers hide behind the notion that in the current state budget crisis, they have held common education harmless when it comes to funding cuts.
We're at our 2008 flat funding level, and we're adding, we've added 30 to 50,000 kids. There's projections over the next 5 years, we're going to add 41,000 more kids. So the growth is happening, but we're funding it to the levels when we had less kids. So it's a huge cut.
Dossett says lawmakers need to roll back the income tax cuts agreed upon a few years ago, a move he calls reckless. But Dossett says nothing is going to change if voters don't tell their representatives they would be willing to pay more taxes to stop the bloodletting of education and other core government services.
Well, the majority over the last 10 years of people in the legislature haven't been willing to make that hard decision, which is to put money into what matters, invest in ourselves.
Is everybody too afraid to say the words, raise taxes?
Yes.
Educators say money isn't the only thing that will change the education crisis. Perceptions about the profession have to change as well.
We don't have individuals going into education, and we know that. In the last 2 years, our schools of education, our colleges of education are down 37% in their enrollments.
And numbers show that those teachers who have come out of the private sector to receive emergency certifications to teach may not like what they have experienced. Of the 631 July emergency certifications, only 121 were renewals from last year.